Today we are going to do a speed round at Yarn and Book Box. Hello, my name is Emily Crow from The Cozy Crow, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Welcome to this video. This is another book and yarn box. It has been a minute since I have done one of these. I actually have quite a lot of boxes that have been piling up the last couple of months because December was really busy getting ready for the holidays, traveling to visit my family, and then January I was doing a ton of like start of new year type of video content and also preparing for the Knit Your Wardrobe Summit and getting all my content together before the end of January. So now that it's February and I've kind of recovered from all of that, I have a lot to get done. We are having a play date this afternoon, and so I only have maybe like 5 hours to get things done before I need to go pick up my daughter from daycare. So I need to get it done as much as possible today. And I know for this book box from Yarnaceous Fibers, I already have the book available both as an audiobook and as an ebook from my library. I timed things really well with my library holds and I was able to coordinate them. So I have both options available to me. I think today I want to try and listen to the audiobook and just get a ton of stuff done and really plow through this box. Just kind of do like a speed round of this book and yarn box. I like to kind of mix things up when I do these book and yarn boxes. I'm not sure what kind of book and yarn box content you guys enjoy seeing the most. So let me know down below if you like this type of speed round, kind of looking at a day in my life while also listening to this book and opening the packages, taking some breaks. So we're gonna listen to the book today. We'll see if we start the project. I hope I at least have the needles available so I can start it. I will not have time to finish whatever project this is. I do not have that much time in my day today, but maybe this weekend or Monday or something, I can get to the project. So we'll do all the book today, open all the packages, and then on another day, we'll probably hammer out the actual project, depending on how big it is. Now for these book and yarn boxes, each yarn dyer that I have purchased from does things a little bit differently. And the way that Maggie does it is she'll have all sorts of packages labeled with different page numbers from the book and maybe like a little snippet so you know which sentence this package is related to. There's nothing loose in the box usually. Maybe there's like one or two small random things, but almost everything is inside a package. And so you get half a dozen to a dozen different packages to open. So you have like this frequent feedback that like, oh good, I got to another part of my book, I can open this package. So this should be really fun. I've done a handful of her book boxes in the past, and yeah, I'm just running behind. So this is the December box, and I have the book available right now. A December to Remember by Jenny Bayliss. It says 11:06. So in about 5.5 hours of listening, I can get this book done. I like to listen at 2 times speed. So I think we can tackle that before I go pick up my daughter from daycare, or at least get really close to the end. Maybe on my like drive to daycare, I'll listen to the last little bit. I don't know. We're gonna try to get through as much as we can today, and I'm gonna take you along with me. I want to take a quick peek at the box. I'm gonna do some rearranging for which packages I open first, you know, like kind of order them. And if there's anything loose in the box, I will show that to you now. Okay, so I've actually got a few packages to open right away, which is really nice. I have this teeny tiny package that is to open on page 1 of chapter 1. This is a really heavy one. I have no idea what this is. It feels like not a yarn thing. Page 29, which is chapter 4. And then I also have a chapter 6, page 58. So I think these will get open really early on. I'm not wearing makeup today because it is a cleaning, chores, exercise, taking care of myself and my home and my family today. So you're getting the real raw me, including eye bags, because that's how my body is. Let's jump into the to-do list. I've got quite a few things, so I'm gonna write them all down really quick and we're gonna start tackling the list. There are these friction pens that change colors. So instead of using the friction eraser to get rid of the color, it just changes it. So this one is from grape to like a lavender. So they're really nice for to-do lists so that you can like erase the points that you complete, but they're still there so you can kind of still see what's on your list. I do want to make sure I get some exercise in today. Boxes to garage. And then we also have our play date coming, so I need to do some good tidying just around our house. Cat litter. I need to tidy the playroom because when there's a toddler coming over, we can't have little Polly Pocket toys all over the place. Oh, I need to clean the bathroom. I've got a good list here. Most of these things I really should get done today. So hopefully we will just knock out a lot. Oh, I forgot. We need to put away Valentine's stuff just so there's less chaos going on in general because there's about to be a lot of chaos. These are not in any particular order, but for sure I should exercise first so I can move my body, get me feeling good, and get started on this audiobook. We'll see from there. Let's hop right to our to-do list. If you like to get things done while you're watching these types of vlogs or videos, then I encourage you to body double with me and turn this on in the background while you are also getting some chores done or doing things around the house or even just sitting and relaxing and working on a project. I'm excited for you to join along with me on this busy, hopefully fulfilling day. The majority of our kitchen is already packed away, but we have maybe like 95% of our stuff packed away from the kitchen, so there's a little bit more to do today, and also like rearranging, organizing, getting things ready so that the things we are most likely to use in the next month and a half, we will have available to us and easy to access.
December to Remember by Jen Bayliss. Read by Elizabeth Sastra. 5 years ago. Augustus Balthazar North chuckled to himself as he plucked a tiny feather cuckoo from the mechanism in the old clock.
I'll show you a closer look when I am off the bike. Oh, they're like Monopoly pieces. Which token was yours? I was always the little Toto dog, the little terrier. So I only biked for about 10 minutes. I have really been neglecting my own personal health the past week. It's just been a really busy week. My daughter has had to stay home from daycare more often than normal, and I worked 2 day shifts in a row. So I've just been exhausted and kind of spent. So I just needed a little bit of movement. I feel good. It felt good. I didn't want to push myself too far, but I wanted to get a little bit of movement in today, and we're gonna be busy also running around the house and getting stuff done. So it was just a really nice little break from all the chores just to take a little time on my exercise bike. So we are about 20 minutes into our listen. I really don't understand what was happening in the prologue because it sounded like it was way in the future or in maybe an antique type of location. I definitely get less details out of an audiobook, but it usually isn't a big deal. I think we'll come back around to this location or this time. It said it was 5 years in the past, and it involved Monopoly pieces, hence the Monopoly related stitch markers. So we'll find out more. The main character's father has passed away, and so now she and her 2 half-sisters, they all have different mothers but the same father, are now going through his effects and also, stop it, Alfred. Sorry, my cat is pushing my tripod. So they're going through his effects and they are listening to the reading of the will and just, preparing for the funeral and the aftermath and all that. So none of them were superbly close with their father, but they always would spend about a month every summer all together with their father. So they did have a relationship with him, and it was not a poor one. It was just a little bit distant for most of the year. We just got a little introduction to our characters. And now I think I'm gonna just do a really quick tidy of this room. We have Polly Pockets and tiny figurines and all sorts of little toys all over the place. So I'm just gonna tidy everything up, pick everything up and put it in a couple bins, and then if I have the energy, I may organize them a little bit, but otherwise they're just gonna go into a container. I'm also gonna put away Valentine's Day, I think, just so I will feel a little bit more minimal and decluttered and fresh. I would love to open doors. It's just kind of cold. Maybe I'll open one door or one window to let a little bit of fresh air in. Maybe I'll light a candle or incense to kind of freshen up the air in here, because I'm just ready for spring, mostly just so I can have fresh airflow, because I just feel really stagnant and indoors. So hopefully we'll freshen up the space a little bit, do a speed tidy and clean, and listen to some more of this book. Forgot to hit the time lapse button, but it looks way better in here. I'm already over it. And I still have to put away all of these, but at least I've gathered everything. A bunch is gonna go upstairs to like the playroom, bedroom area. And I don't honestly know what to do with my husband's gaming stuff because he doesn't use it very often. So I'm gonna find a corner to throw it in so that maybe I can vacuum later today, but I'm gonna start with tidying. I'm about 45 minutes into this. So I could take a break. Oh, that's a great idea. I think I'm going to take the stuff up to my daughter's playroom that needs to be up there, and then I will open the package for chapter 4 because I've already hit that. Yay, that'll be a good little treat for me to keep me going. Everything that belonged to my daughter is now either put away downstairs where it belongs or is upstairs. We'll come back to that later. That's probably like the biggest task that I really need to get to. But I do need a break. So I'm happy that we are just about to start chapter 6 in our audiobook, which means we have blown past chapter 4 and we can open this package. This one says, Odes to the Rowan Tree Woods. So this sounds like where the father lived and kind of where he settled down. He was a wanderer, he was a vagabond, so he did not stay put really, but like that was his home base, and that's where one of the sisters lived. Oh, yay, there's yarn in here. Pattern by Twin Stitches Designs. Oh, this smells very strongly. Bath salt from Three Sisters Apothecary. Add 2 ounces of bath salt soak to bath. Allow salts to dissolve in water for maximum detoxification benefits. There's an essential oil blend that's called Winter Solstice, made of spearmint, peppermint, cedar, juniper, frankincense, and there's also vitamin E. Oh, and there's something else in here. Oh, like a lip balm. Same scent, flavor. The Winter Solstice blend. So fun. I'll definitely be using this frequently. I'm not a huge bath person. I don't take baths very frequently, so it'll take me a while to get through this. This is sizable though. I love it. So I'm looking at this sock pattern and there's a download code so that I can get it on Ravelry, which is really nice. That's mostly where I keep my digital patterns. It comes in sizes toddler, child, adult small, adult medium, adult large, and it includes the stitch counts. So I would be an adult medium, a 64 stitch count sock. Though it does say that is 7 inches around, which is way smaller than I normally think of for like an adult medium. So we'll see, I guess, how my gauge looks compared to hers. Oh, she does use a US 1.5 millimeter needle. She does things a little differently. So we'll just try it out. I don't usually gauge swatch for socks. I usually just start and then make sure it fits. And if it's not going great, then I'll undo it. And it's not that much effort to restart. So this is a cuff down sock. I don't have free sock needles right now, unfortunately. I've got plenty of sock needles, but they are all occupado. I'm for sure going to not cast on right now because I don't have the means to do that and I have more work to do. So I think I'm going to do the cat litter because it's a small project that it won't take very long, but it'll make me feel really good to have that knocked out of the way. And as I listen to chapter 6, I will quickly get to the next package. And after cat litter, I can treat myself again to another little package. This is the best part about these book boxes, is getting to treat myself frequently and getting to like gamify the process of reading a book.
Hidden within North Novelties and Curios are 32 monopoly houses. Working together, you must find all 32 and present them to Stephen Branigan. Upon receipt and verification, you will be presented with the key to a lockbox that holds the deeds to the building, land, and the woods, and a comprehensive ledger containing details of every item in the shop, as well as details that will help you in your winter solstice endeavors.
I'm about 2 hours in, the litter box is clean. I did like a really deep clean of the litter box area. It's kind of enclosed in a little cabinet looking thing, and I moved that all into another room so it's out of the way of the contractors who are working on our kitchen next week. And I just finished chapter 6 where we find out what's included in this will. And these sisters bicker a lot. Like I was kind of surprised by how much they are butting heads and their differences, but I guess it kind of makes sense that they were constantly in each other's lives. Every year they would spend a few weeks together, but they also lived very separate lives with separate moms, separate socioeconomic demographics, not necessarily separate relationships with the father, but all feeling that trauma of like not having the ideal father figure in their life. They're butting heads a lot, which is surprising. And now that they're all adults in their late 30s, early 40s, they are still getting on each other's nerves a little bit. So that kind of surprised me. This package, Chapter 6, hidden within North Novelties and Curios, are 32 Monopoly houses. I said that the father was kind of traveler, wanderer. He hasn't been home for like 5 years or something, but he has this antique and curio shop that he just constantly filled up with things that had value that he's had appraised, but he never opened the shop to actually sell anything. So it's just kind of like a weird, I'm getting maybe like there might be some magical realism vibes in this. And I don't know if that's because it reminds me of the Lost Bookshop that I read recently. We'll learn more about this curio shop because they are gonna try to find those 32 specific Monopoly pieces that he hid in the curio shop. Ooh, pretty. It's this like light aqua. This is called Hidden Houses. Pretty. I'm excited to see this one and add it to the color palette. Don't you love that I have my Christmas photo gallery up? I didn't get around to changing it out for Valentine's Day. I missed the boat on that one. So we're just gonna look forward to the spring or the summer. So I should get some digital downloads for those and get those ready. But until then, I'm gonna leave Christmas up in my gallery wall. But we're gonna clean up Valentine's Day. The next package is not until chapter 19. So I have a long way to listen before I even need to worry about opening up the next thing. So I'm gonna tackle this and then maybe get some things done with moving stuff around for the kitchen since we are almost done clearing it out completely.
Are we talking about the same man after 7? How does it actually be continuous?
Tidied. It's not perfect, but it's way better. All the dangerous tools my husband has been using to work on this bookshelf over here have been put away. So now I feel like we can have people over. Hopefully I'll circle back around and just do a quick vacuum of this, but I think I need to switch to a different location. So it's a little after 11 a.m. and I am currently starting chapter 13. I am about 3 hours into this audiobook, about 30%. And they just found all the houses. So I have no idea what's gonna happen for the rest of this book. If it's still gonna be clues and them trying to figure out like how to fulfill their father's wishes. Like, I don't know if it's gonna be a mystery still or if things are gonna change. I've loved seeing more of each of the sisters. They're all very distinct, but I'm having a hard time keeping track of like which name goes to which character. And I think part of that is just because I'm doing other things while I'm listening to this audiobook. So I am working on paying attention and just getting more from each of these characters just so I can really feel like I know them by name, because I am having a little bit of a hard time with that. I'm gonna go look at my to-do list and figure out what to do next before I have my lunch. There's surprisingly not as much contrast between these two as I thought, but there's still a little bit of contrast. I feel like they're fairly similar tonally, so I'm intrigued to see how these will be used together in a sock pattern. And I could totally look it up because the sock pattern has since come out. It came out in December and now we're in February because I'm behind. But I just want to be surprised and experience this box like it was intended to be, as kind of like a mystery pattern. The problem now is that I've actually crossed quite a few things off of my to-do list. I don't know if you can see, but I'm more than halfway through all the things that I wanted to do. I guess I should add vacuuming on the list because I didn't do that yet. I don't want to forget that. I also need to tidy George's bedroom and playroom area. I should also clean the bathroom. I did a deep clean not too long ago, so it shouldn't be too tricky to do that. And then just like vacuuming and cleaning up. So honestly, not too bad since I have a while. My next package is not until chapter 19, like I said. Page 148, and I'm on chapter 13, 14 right now, kind of in that range. So I should probably just go up to the playroom and do like a really fast tidy and show myself that it'll actually look way better, even if I just put in a little effort. So it's worth putting in a little more and get it looking really good. Ta-da! But I've made lots of really great progress, and we have hit chapter 19. We just finished chapter 19, and it's really cool to see the growth that these sisters are going through as they are re-experiencing a relationship with one another, despite their personal traumas in the past and their current traumas that they face. And there's nothing explicit or even really heavy, but they're just living a life, and being a grown-up sucks sometimes. And so it's been really interesting to get to know these characters more. And I know I mentioned earlier, I was feeling like I couldn't pair the names with the distinct characterizations, and I feel like I'm doing a lot better now with that. While I don't necessarily feel connected with any particular sister personality-wise or like life experience-wise, I feel like I know them each distinctly. I am appreciating what they've been through. So that's been really interesting. This is focused a lot more on their relationship than I anticipated. I almost feel like this is not going to be really a romance, or there's maybe one very, very subplot of romance that might pop up. Though, I guess all three of these sisters are going through some relationship struggles, and so we're going to see hopefully some resolution. We are about 40% of the way into this book, so we are well on our way to like getting to whatever climax there is in this story. And like I mentioned, I didn't know what was going to happen with the plot because they found all their Monopoly pieces. I kind of thought it would extend throughout the whole story, but once they found their Monopoly pieces, they found like a treasure chest with the paperwork that they needed. The last wish of their father was to restore the town's winter solstice festival to the way that it had been done in the past, is my impression. And so now they're kind of working on contributing to the winter solstice festival and like making that happen. We haven't gotten a ton of details about that because again, it's been more character focused, but we have quite a bit left of the book to go. So I'm excited to see more details about what this winter solstice festival entails. Honestly, this is not a super holiday focused or heavy story because it focuses so much on the characters, though it does take place in November, December time. So it is, I feel like, a good book to read during that time of year, but it also doesn't feel like I'm missing out on holiday vibes because they don't have a lot of holiday vibes yet. But to be determined, when we get closer to the winter solstice festival, we might get some more holiday vibes. Ooh, a nice silver gray. Oh yeah, this is called Silver Locket. Our next package is this fun bag, but it's not until chapter 33. So again, we've got a long way to go. Okay, now that we've opened that, we have a long way to go before we open the next package. I'm going to finish up the playroom since I am really close. I'm also going to pull some toys out of rotation and pack them away because I've been meaning to do that. And I just keep getting interrupted by my daughter and she keeps pulling things out. And so I haven't been able to do a really good editing down of what we have out and putting toys away in rotation. So I'm going to do that since I already have a few things I'm going to pull out and just last couple tidying things, putting things downstairs. And then I'm going to turn to her bedroom, which is really fast because all we have in there are her clothes, her books, and her stuffies. So that should be a really fast job to clean, and then the whole upstairs will be ready to go. I should probably vacuum that because I know the kids are going to play there this afternoon. I can easily get that done. It is a little after 12 right now. I think I'm just going to finish the upstairs area while I'm listening, and then when I'm done with that, I'll take a really good lunch break. Okay, I had to stop. It is so cute. Star is like the most irresponsible of the three sisters. She is also very much like a vagabond, can't really put down roots, is having a hard time, but she's starting to settle because her ex has been over the top. So she is like distancing herself from her past, if that makes sense. And she is starting to feel for this man named Duncan, who is part of this community. I can't remember in what capacity he is involved, but he is helping to go through the ledger books to catalog all of the artifacts that Star's father had accumulated for the shop. He knows how to knit, and he taught her how to knit, and she wanted to know how to knit, so he's teaching her, and she just like dropped some stitches and just handed her project over to him so he could fix it. It's cute and it's friendly, and I'm excited to see where it goes, but it's always fun to find some fiber arts intermixed in the books that I read. So I've got my lunch ready. I'm in the middle of chapter 29, so I'm 57% of the way there. We're getting close to that chapter 33 mark, so I'm gonna just listen to a little bit more, eat my spinach artichoke dip that I made recently, and just enjoy relaxing a little bit. I don't know what I'll do after that. Maybe I'll do something fun to reward myself because I've gotten a lot done and I feel really good. I've gotten all of the playroom and my daughter's room clean. I've tidied up this downstairs. I should vacuum, so maybe that's gonna be what comes next. But I'm making really good progress on this book. I have 4 hours and 46 minutes left of my audiobook, so times 2 speed, that means I've got like a little less than 2.5 hours left of listening. So I don't think I'll finish by the time I pick up my daughter for daycare, but I'll get really close and I can definitely finish this evening.
The sisters linked arms as they walked out into the cold night. Let's make a pact, said Star. Here and now, let's promise to stop being islands and start being sisters again. That's a good pact, said Maggie. I promise. Me too, said Simone.
I really don't want to vacuum right now. Mostly because my old phone is running out of charge. I've got 13% left, so I really need to plug my phone in, and that just won't work for vacuuming the house. So I think what I'm gonna do is fold laundry, which has nothing to do with tidying our house for friends to come over, but it is what it is. I'm gonna enjoy folding laundry while my phone is charging and I'm still listening to this book. We're gonna take a quick pause in maybe like 10 or 15 minutes because I'm on chapter 31 right now. So I will very quickly get to chapter 33 and get to open that fun package. So we're gonna do that, just kind of pivot a little bit. One load of laundry done, and we have gotten to chapter 33. So time to open this bag. Solstice Blessings. Would be a cute little project bag. The next part of the pattern. Oh, there's some color work. Some trees, looks like a little house. Some poinsettia, some snowflakes, cute. We have 2 more contrast colors to get to before we are done with this box, so that's fun. So this reminds me a lot of the Crescent City box where I did kind of have to get through the whole box and the whole book before I could actually start the sock, really, because I needed all the colors to do the color work. That makes me feel even better about my choice to worry about the book today, worry about the socks another day. And it came also with, oh my gosh, a winter garland felt craft kit. That is so fun. Optional tea and biscuits for a cozy crafty time. I love that. So I'm hoping it includes directions on embroidery for this because I think that's what makes these designs really pop. Look, they're so cute. Oh my goodness. This is so fun. I think I'm gonna have to wait to do this for this upcoming Christmas season. My daughter will be 5 then. I still feel like this is gonna be too intensive for her, but I can definitely find a way for her to help me. So that is so cute. And it was also made in Britain, which is really fun since that's where this book takes place. I'm going to keep reading the book. I'm going to fold our whites and then I will be all caught up on our laundry. which is amazing. And then we'll see how charged my old phone is where I'm listening to the book and see if we can maybe go to the bathroom and clean the bathroom really quick, or if we should vacuum next. But I'm feeling really good. This has been a super productive day. If you are body doubling me and trying to get stuff done while you're listening in, let me know how your day is going, if you are getting a lot of stuff done. And if you have the time to be working on a project right now, I am so jealous. Let me know what you're working on and how that's going. So we have hit chapter 38 now, and we are 72% of the way into this book. I've only got about 3 hours left. So at my speed, an hour and a half left of listening, so that should go by pretty quickly, though I'm about to go pick up my daughter. Gotta take a pause, though I will get to listen in the car on the drive to daycare, but definitely won't be able to listen on the drive back. But that means it is time for us to open our penultimate package, which is chapter 38, page 281. Count the cussing crocheters in with whatever plans you're hatching. They have faced some disasters related to the solstice event that they are hosting. So now they're trying to pick up the pieces and figure out how to move forward. Though we still have a lot of the book left, I think, for a resolution of some of these romantic relationships. This is a nice, cozy book. I am enjoying this more than I thought I would. The last Jenny Bayliss book that I read, I mean, I guess I enjoyed it, but I had a lot of issues with it. So the first and only other Jenny Bayliss book that I've read was A Season for Second Chances. I rated it a 3.5, but I had a lot of issues. I had a hard time connecting with the characters. This book I'm enjoying a lot more, and I love the focus on the sisters and how real all of these characters feel. So unless something crazy happens, I'm definitely rating this book higher than the first Jenny Bayliss book that I read. Oh, this is so fun. What a fun color. Cussing Crocheters. Cute. Oh my gosh, what a fun color palette. You'll notice the lighting is different. We've done our play date. Friends have left, and we have a little bit of time. My daughter is decompressing with the tablet right now, and so I can listen to a little bit more of this book. I ended off at about 77% of the way through, so I've got a little over an hour left to listen, because I'm at about the 2.5 hour mark left. I'm gonna get a little bit more done, and honestly, that's my big secret for getting through books, is just listening any chance you get. I often have my earbuds just in my pocket and ready to go, so if I have a moment where I have some time, I can just throw them in and listen, and I don't have to be limited by maybe not wanting other people to hear what I'm listening to, or not wanting my daughter to hear what I'm listening to. So yeah, that's my tip. So I've got like 20 or 30 minutes right now. I'm gonna listen. I'm probably going to knit. What do I want to knit on? I think I'm gonna knit on my pattern test for Elindria Knits. This fun texture, which is really cool. This is the second sock, so I'm gonna be knitting on this heel, and I'm almost done with the heel turn. So then I'll be working on the gusset while I'm listening to this book. And I'm really enjoying this, like way more than I thought. I don't know if I just needed a cozy read that was a little bit romance, but not a ton. I don't know, it's just like hitting the spot. Nice, good read. I'm definitely enjoying it. I'm suspicious because there is more than 2 hours left of this audiobook, and everything seems to be working out perfect. It feels like I'm at the end of the story, so something's gonna happen, and I don't know what. Okay, so like 2 seconds after that last clip, we got to some drama. I don't know, it just feels a little blown out of proportion. Like, I don't quite understand why it's such a big deal, the drama that happened, especially with like the miscommunication or the self-sabotaging. I'm not a fan. I'm not on board. We got a conflict. I don't know if more conflicts will show up. I would honestly really hate to see conflicts in every single relationship or like in every single storyline at this point. More is coming, I think. All right, it is about 9:20 in the evening. We are getting really close. I've got like, 45 minutes left? I've got like 40 minutes left. I'm so excited. I'm just about to start chapter 50. I am 94% of the way into this book, and chapter 50, page 370, is the very last package. So I'm really excited. About 20 more minutes of listening and we will have finished this audiobook in just one day. So I'm feeling really good about that. I was able to work on my gnome for my daughter. I already had a bunch of these pieces ready, but I did a couple little arms. I did a nose. Where did the nose go? I made a couple braids. And now I'm just weaving in ends and I'm going to attach everything together. So I'm really excited that my daughter's gnome can be done. It just feels so good. I haven't had a finished object in a week or two, even with all the little small projects I've got going on. So doing that will free up my knitting needles for this box. So while it doesn't sound related, I need to do this in order to have knitting needles to work on the pattern. I am really excited to get this finished, so I will get working on this and finishing up this book. All the other kerfuffles have been fairly small, but Maggie's had quite the run of it. So I'm excited that things seem to be looking up maybe. I'm excited for how the winter solstice celebration is going to turn out now that they are like pulling it together the day of, and how the relationships are all gonna get tied up neatly in a nice little bow. Something big in here. Our last color. Okay, whatever it is, it smells good. Drinking Christmas. Stainless steel tea strainer. I've never seen a tea strainer with this kind of a shape. That's fascinating. Last part of the pattern. Some tea. It smells really good. Litera tea. Tea blends for book lovers. Yuletide toddy. Cranberry orange spice loose leaf tea. Caffeine free. Perfect. Herbal tea, it looks like. Apple pieces, rose hips, orange, hibiscus, cinnamon, ginger, cranberries, and cherries. Yum! Oh. Oh my gosh, it smells so good. I love it. Oh my goodness. It smells so good. Oh my gosh. It's like sweet and spicy. I love it. I need to find a mug because right now we just have plastic cups set aside. Once I find a mug, I can make myself some tea. All right, time to finish this book. I am really enjoying this book way more than I anticipated, and this package is so good and a lot of things that I will really enjoy, not just for the holiday season, which is perfect. Here are our colors. So cute. I can definitely see how this is like a winter adjacent type of a color palette, not exclusively wintry, which I love. I've got my yarn winding station set up and I'm going to at least prep this yarn, the main color, so I can cast on the cuff maybe tonight when I'm hanging out in bed and getting ready to wind down. I may or may not get to the minis today, but I at least wanted to get started since my needles are now free since I finished that gnome last night. Okay, the cuff is done, so that's part one, all done. And now it looks like it's time for the Colorwork charts. So there's a tree, a house, a little like garland type thing, and some snowflakes. So now I got to decide what I want to do. I definitely can't fit all of them on because that would be 64 rounds. Honestly, I really don't like the house. So let's just scrap that one. Maybe I'll make small snowflakes. So I like cut that one down in half too. So I can do like a 40 round leg with those adjustments, and I think that will be sufficient. This is a pretty short cuff. I like to in total do about 60 rounds maximum on my leg, and that includes the cuff. So I think that'll work out just fine between the two of those. So now I gotta decide what colors I want to use and get started on this chart. It is nighttime now, but I have one full Colorwork chart done. Cute, like a little garland. And on the chart, it has these stems, I guess, of the leaves or the petals in a different color. So I did do that. It's not actually 3-color color work because those 2 rounds with the stem color do not have the leaf color. So in each round, you're only using 2 colors maximum, which is nice. So this was a nice, easy chart to do. I am starting on the modified snowflake chart. So there's a couple small snowflakes and a big snowflake. I'm omitting the big snowflake and just doing a couple small snowflakes. And then we'll finish off with a fun Christmas tree, or I guess a winter solstice tree, and then move on to the heel and whatnot. It looks like the pattern has striping along the foot of the sock, so we'll be able to highlight every color that way. But I'm liking this color palette together a lot, actually. I do wish that this contrast color and the main color were a little bit different, and they're definitely different when next to each other, but when they're not next to each other, they look almost identical, if that makes sense. So that's one thing that I wish was a little bit more different between those 2 colors, just to make it a little easier, that my eyes didn't have to work hard to see, are they the same or are they not the same? But I do feel like these colors work really well together. This is a super cute palette that's wintry, but not necessarily Christmassy, which I really like. Actually, let me share a couple quick color work tips because I've done quite a few color work projects, and while I'm no expert at color work, I definitely want to learn more about it. Some tips and tricks. Making sure that you have high contrast with your colors helps a ton in being able to visualize what you're doing. And I feel really happy with the way that I chose my colors for this first chart. You can very clearly see what I'm doing. Even this bright pink stands out in this lighting, not as much, but in person for sure that stands out. A way you can test for contrast with colors for color work is putting all your colors together and then taking a black and white photo on your phone. And then if you can still see that each of those colors is distinct in the black and white spectrum, then you know that they're easier to see. Now, sometimes you can get away with colors that are on opposite ends of the color wheel, like complementary colors, or what's it called when it's almost complementary but like veers off just a little bit. You can get away with those if they're a same or similar tone, if they are opposite on the color wheel. In my experience, just because the colors differ so much that your eye can still catch that there's a difference there. But if all of your color work uses the same tone, then everything kind of gets a little bit muddy. Definitely focusing on contrast. Every couple color changes, I stretched my project out a lot to make sure that I had enough stretch in my stitches, that I wasn't pulling my floats too tight on the back side of my project. Something else you can do to help stretch out your floats is using a larger needle size. I switched to a US 2. That's what I typically do. I also was very mindful to be a little looser. Partly why I like to knit 2-color color work with 2 hands is because I tend to knit a little bit looser, but also a little bit more consistently with my dominant color and my, I guess, recessive color, my background color. If I keep those colors to their specific hand, then it makes it a little bit more even. If I'm switching a lot of dominant colors and recessive colors, or integrating lots of different colors of color work, then I will just knit with one hand for flicking my knit stitches so that I can have consistency that way. But if you have a color you want to be more dominant, use your left hand and hold that yarn underneath the recessive color that will be in your right hand. Is kind of how I do my 2-handed 2-color color work. You can also put your work inside out, and that makes the circumference on the outside of your sock, which is actually the inside of your sock in this scenario, it's slightly larger of a circumference than the inside of your sock. And so when the actual inside of your sock is on the outside of the work that you're knitting, then you'll stretch out those floats just a little bit evenly all the way around. And so that kind of helps too. I think really it's just practicing. I'm happy with how my tension is looking for this. Sometimes I have a hard time with my tension for color work, and that's okay. I am still learning. Trying to be consistent in your tension makes a big difference. And so just trying out different methods to loosen up your knitting and maintain consistency in your tension, and just figuring out what works for you. That's my 2 cents about that. Let me know if you have any tips for working color work down below, because I would honestly love to get better at it. So hello, I've put in a little bit more time and my Christmas trees are coming together. Ta-da! I keep saying this, but I love this color palette. There are a couple like ornaments on the pattern, but I don't want to do any 3-color color work. So I think when I'm all done with the trees, then I'll go back and just duplicate stitch a couple ornaments on to just add a little pop of a different color. I think I'm going to do the dark red for that. But yeah, I'm almost done with the Christmas trees, and then I can move on to the heel of the sock. I'll switch back to my main color. And then I don't know exactly how I'm going to do the foot of the sock, but I should pull out my Crescent City socks because they were a very similar design that Julia Knitter did compared to this where it's a bunch of colorwork charts on the top and then stripes along the bottom. So I can count how many rounds I did. So then maybe I can divvy those up between my contrast colors and then alternate with all of those. I think I'm going to leave my main color as heel, toe, and cuff, and then use my contrast colors to stripe. I'm happy that I'm almost done with the leg of my sock. I was hoping to have some tea tonight. It has been snowy and wet and kind of gloomy the past couple days, and so I thought it would be really nice to have a cup of tea, but we're getting our kitchen redone right now, and I did not pull my kettle out, and so if I'm going to have hot water, I need to cook it in my microwave, which is less than ideal, especially if I want to steep tea appropriately for like the optimum taste. So I don't think I'm gonna do that, but hopefully soon I can try a cup of that tea that came in this box because it smells so good and cozy. Oh, Alfred. I had a meeting this morning, so I made some good progress on this sock. I have not done my duplicate stitching yet. I will do that soon, but I did finish my heel in my main color, and I've started adding in my contrast color stripes. So the pattern, I can't remember how many rounds it says to do in each color, but I want it to be evenly spaced because that's one of the issues I had with my Crescent City socks. So for these, I pulled them out, ta-da! And the pattern is written with a short row heel, but I prefer a heel flap and gusset because I find that that fits my foot shape better. So that's actually what I did on my Crescent City socks, which is great. And I just counted how many rounds I did in all these colors, and I had 56 rounds total, including the gusset. And so, doing some math, divided by my 4 contrast colors, that means 14 rounds per color. Divide that by 2, I can do 7 rounds per color. And then they should all be even. I should be able to rotate through all 4 contrast colors twice and then move on to the toe of my sock. So I have a plan of action. I'm really happy I have some nice easy knitting to do now with like meetings and just relaxing. So we'll get a bunch of work done on this, and then when I feel like it, I will do my duplicate stitching and add some little baubles on those Christmas trees, or on that winter solstice tree, I should say. Making great progress on these socks. I actually finished one. Yeah, well, okay. I didn't do the duplicate stitching yet on the trees, but I finished the knitting on one sock. I did a longer toe than normal. I don't know if my intention was just a little bit different or what, but the normal toe that I do was just not quite long enough for what I wanted. I think it fits really well on my foot, and I'm excited about it, and I love this color palette. Like every time I pick these socks up, they just make me really, really happy, and I think I'm going to get a lot of wear out of them actually, because the length of the leg is what I typically like to wear. They have the heel flap and gusset that I really love, and the colors just make me so happy. Again, I've not woven in my ends because I haven't done the duplicate stitching yet, but I think I'll just do both of my socks at the same time when I feel like it. Right now I'm having fun doing the knitting. So I have finished the cuff, and so I'm ready to switch my needles from a US 1 to a US 2 so I can do the color work and get started on that. I am just working really hard to get these done before the end of the month because I feel like I have a lot of whips. If you haven't seen my whip parade video that I came out with in February, I just feel like I have a lot going on, and I really don't want to start projects and have them linger for too long if I'm going to start things, because with these book boxes and with the Year of Gnomes knit along by Sarah Scherer that I'm participating in, I'm constantly casting on new things, and I just don't want those to linger too long. Making good progress. Loving these socks. My daughter actually told me she wants her own pair of socks like this. I really don't think that she loves these socks as much as she wants. I think she just wants a pair of socks. So I'll need to knit a pair of socks for her. Maybe I'll use the leftovers from this box to knit her a pair of socks. We'll see what she wants. I need to get her to tell me exactly what she wants, because she just keeps telling me that she wants whatever I have already made for myself. And that's not going to work, because I do not have enough yarn for that. I might make something fun, maybe something stripey, reminiscent of the foot of this sock. I think this pink is my favorite of all of these colors. I love it. Makes me so happy. So we're gonna keep going on this, switch my needles over, and we'll touch base in just a little bit and hopefully get these socks knocked out. All right, so you've seen that I finished the knitting on both of these socks. I still need to duplicate stitch, so I'm going to do that right now. And then we're just going to listen to a book and work on weaving in these ends and hopefully block these before I have to go to an appointment. I'm getting my eyebrows done. So that's the plan, and then we are almost finished with this box. I've got my cozy tea, so let's talk about this book box. I'm so glad I was finally able to try this tea that was included in the box. As a reminder, this is Yuletide Toddy from Literati, and let's see, it's cranberry orange spice loose leaf tea, and I did use this strainer. It kind of slides apart, has like a little scoop, I guess, and I wonder if you could even measure with this. I'm not sure. That's not what I did. I like how it's got the little loop, so if you have a taller mug, for instance, you can just rest this on the side of your mug, which is nice. I am in the middle of a kitchen reno, and so I don't have my cute teacup. I just have one random mug that I have saved so that I could make some tea. It smells so good and cozy, and the taste is pretty mild, actually. I thought it would have a little bit more punch to it, maybe be a little bit more bitter, but I really like it as is. I don't feel the need to add honey, which is really nice. I really like this tea, and I'm excited to continue to partake. Let's talk about all the other goodies included in this box, and then we'll jump into talking about the book itself. So besides the tea and the strainer, it came with Three Sisters Apothecary Winter Solstice Blend Bath Salt Soak, which is a very sharp smell. It's definitely got some mint of some sort in there. Let me try to find out. Peppermint, juniper, frankincense, and vitamin E. So I can definitely smell the peppermint, and it's got almost like an herby undertone to it, but the peppermint definitely comes out on top. I've not had the chance to use some of this. I'm not a huge bath taker, and so it'll take me a while to get through a salt soak like that. From that same company, there's this lip soother in the same winter solstice blend, which will be really good, especially for poor winter weather. It is not winter anymore. I'm doing this box a little bit later because this is when I'm getting around to it, but I can definitely see where these goodies would be perfect for the coldest months of the year. Right now, we are escaping winter time. This March has been crazy, but I'm really hoping that we will have good weather from here on out. But hopefully I didn't just jinx it. And then as far as some crafty goodies, there's these stitch markers from Yarnaceous. Some of them are wood, but some of them are like the plastic resiny type, and they are based off of Monopoly pieces, which is really fun. A little nod to the book. There's also this really cute felt craft kit to make a winter garland with all sorts of fun wintry emblems, I guess you could say. I think this will be a really fun craft to do with my daughter come this upcoming winter. So I'm excited to hang on to this and to play around with this with her. I think she'll have a lot of fun kind of messing with it and helping me make some fun stuff for a garland. And the last yarn adjacent type of goodie was this bag. It is a drawstring and it says Solstice Blessings. Because while this book was definitely set in December, it had more of a solstice theme to it. So that kind of makes sense when you take a look at these goodies. And then also we have the yarn and the pattern that were included in this box, but I will get to that when I talk about the yarn and the pattern itself. But let's talk about the book. I listened to the audio of A December to Remember by Jenny Bayliss, and this was my second Jenny Bayliss book, and so I was excited to give her another shot to see if she was the kind of holiday wintry romance type of author that I could get behind and read more of her things. And I am happy to say that yes, I really enjoyed this book and I will definitely plan on reading more from Jenny Bayliss. I ended up rating this book a 4.5 star. This was such a good, cozy read. It involves 3 half-sisters and their father has recently passed away. He was kind of a wanderer type of a person, and so again, they're all 3 half-sisters. They only share the same dad and they've all lived separate lives. Growing up, they would spend a stretch of the summer together, but definitely as they went their separate ways in adulthood, their relationships have fallen by the wayside. Part of his wishes when he passed was that they would become more reconciled and to work on their relationships together and really enjoy one another in sisterhood. And so he tasked them with doing a couple small things, but the big thing he asked them to do was to plan the Winter Solstice Festival that this little town hadn't had for a long time. And he wanted them to revitalize it and to plan this event. And so this book, you're following all 3 sisters. It jumps between different points of view as they are examining their previous relationships with one another and where they want their relationships to go, looking at what they want out of the Winter Solstice Festival and their time in this small village and how they're kind of reconciling all of their complex feelings with the passing of their father. And also you see each of these 3 sisters have their own romance subplot throughout this. So while this is listed as a romance, I feel like it's more of a general fiction type of a story because a lot more of the story was focused on the sisters and their relationships with one another and what they were doing for the plot of the Winter Solstice Festival. The romance subplots were definitely a larger subplot as part of the story, but that wasn't the driving force of the plot itself, if that makes sense. At least in my personal opinion. This was a really cozy read and it was just nice and feel good. Kind of seeing these sisters come together, learn from one another, and learn to appreciate each other in their new adult lives and the different lives that they have all experienced, all the good and the bad. None of these sisters had superbly traumatizing backstories, but they had all suffered to some extent, and you got to see a little bit of that and how they interacted with one another. I would say that of the 3 sisters, Maggie, Simone, and Star being the youngest, Star was my favorite. I loved her personality. I loved her vigor and her excitement for the world. And I really loved her love story that she had. It was kind of like a friends to lover type of subplot. And that just like made my heart nice and warm and cozy. So perfect for vibes with this book. My least favorite sister was definitely Maggie. She's the oldest. She was very self-sabotaging. She had like a friends with benefits type of a scenario. She would not let it go any farther than that. And so it was just a little frustrating. And while this book is set in December time mostly, I think maybe he dies in October, November. A bulk of the story takes place in December and it's focused on the winter solstice. Reading this in February, I didn't feel like I was missing out on too much of the vibes because I wasn't reading it during that specific time of year. I think that you would enjoy how this brings in the vibes of the winter solstice, especially if you're looking to celebrate that. But you can enjoy it any time of year, I think. And I think you would still find this a really fun book of reconciliation and seeing the sisters grow together. So yes, I would definitely recommend this book. I definitely hope to read more from this author. Let me know if you have read A December to Remember and what your thoughts were about it, because I was pleasantly surprised. I really enjoyed where this book was going. I had a hard time following which sister was which for the first little bit of the story, but once I got everyone straight in my head, I just thoroughly enjoyed it. What I love about these book boxes from Maggie of Yarnaceous Fibers is that they include a pattern in physical format, but usually a coupon code to download it onto Ravelry as well if you like having it digitally. You open the pattern as you open the yarn and other goodies throughout the box, and so it's kind of unveiled to you throughout your reading experience. And I love that this yarn and this pattern are coordinated together and they're intended to fit with each other. And so I never have to think about, what do I want to make with this yarn from this box? I already have a project in mind because I just make whatever is in the box itself. So I like how it's all inclusive in that sense. And this pattern was a December to Remember socks by Twin Stitches Designs, or Julianne Knitter. And like she's been doing with a lot of her designs recently, there's color work on the leg and then stripes on the foot. And I am excited to share with you my finished socks. Ta-da! I have both socks, but we only really need to show you one. So cute. I adore this color palette, like, so much. I have been raving about it this whole time that I've been filming this vlog. It's wintry for sure, but then with this pop of pink, it's just fun and fresh and different, and it still gives me the cozy wintry vibes without being very stereotypical and something unoriginal, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So I really enjoyed this color palette. Let me talk about the colors included. So the main color, I've got about half of this 50-gram skein left. This is called Rowan Tree Woods. So Rowan Tree is the name of the village that their father settled down in and where they are hosting this Winter Solstice Festival. And then, ooh, the order that I opened these in, I think the next color I opened was this one, which is Hidden Houses. That was like a little challenge he had for them to look for little Monopoly houses inside of his antique shop. That was like a little warm-up type of a group activity that they got to do. And then this is Silver Lockets. This is my favorite color of the group. Cussing Crocheters was a little stitching group. And then Drinking Christmas, because of course they had wassail. These are all in Maggie's Salta fingering base, which is an 85% superwash merino and a 15% nylon. And in the pattern, you were given a handful of different colorwork charts, and I chose 3 of them. Though the snowflake one, I abbreviated. I cut off about half of it because I didn't want big snowflakes. I just wanted a little snowflake section. I love how it turned out. And you can see those little baubles that I added in duplicate stitching wise. I ended up pulling things too tightly and had to go back in and reduplicate stitch, which was a little bit annoying, but I got it all worked out and I learned my lesson, did not pull things too tightly. And then what I did on the foot, Julianne Knitter also designed the Crescent City socks. I can't remember what those ones were called, for Yarnaceous Fibers book box. And so following a similar pattern, I figured I could extrapolate how my stripes went on those Crescent City socks to plan out my striping for this sock pattern so that I would have an even distribution of colors. I thought I would enjoy that more. And I decided to do 7 rounds of each color. And I also did a heel flap and gusset. That was a modification that I did because I like how that fits my foot better. And so I just rotated through all 4 colors based on what I saw at the top, gray, and then cranberry, and then that blue, and then pink. I was able to rotate through all 4 colors twice for the contrast colors. And then I did main color for the heel, toe, and cuff. And then for the toe on this, usually I do a modified square toe where the second half of my toe decreases at a faster rate, just because I kind of have stubby toes. But I found that either the way I was knitting or the number of rounds I did, maybe I could have added a few more rounds in the foot. I just needed a little bit of extra length in the toe, and so I just did a regular traditional square toe all the way until I had only 10 stitches left. Basically, once I got through the colorwork charts, I just did my own pattern, my own vanilla sock pattern that I'm used to with the heel flap and gusset, and I did my own toe, did my own colorwork striping. I did not follow the pattern for any of the rest of it. But I'm super happy with how they turned out. They just make me so happy, and I feel like the fit and the length of the leg also are what I like most in my socks. Like, this is traditional sock fit for me. I don't like a super tall leg, and I just really enjoy how these were fitting on my leg. I can definitely see myself wearing these a lot and enjoying them because these colors make me so happy. For all these minis, I have anywhere from like 5 to like 9 grams left of each color. So I have a good little chunk of yarn left. Maybe I will make some stripy socks for my daughter if that's what she would like, because I definitely have have some yarn to play with there. So there you go, my Yarnaceous Fiber book box. I really liked doing the audiobook because it meant that I could work on yarny things, I could get some stuff done around the house, kind of get some chores done. I really do love listening to audiobooks, and so while the pacing of like listening to the audiobook in this type of a vlog and then working on the project instead of doing things in tandem a little bit is a little bit different. Let me know what you think. Did you like seeing what I do when I listen to audiobooks and then when I was finished with the book, just transitioning to only working on the project? Or do you like seeing me read the book and work on the project simultaneously? Let me know down below which method you prefer. If you like this type of content, I have loads of other book and yarn box vlogs here on this channel, and more will definitely be coming. I really like combining my love for books and my love for yarn in these types of vlogs, so I'm excited to share this type of content with you in the future. And if you like all things books and all things yarn, make sure to subscribe down below and hit the bell notification to be notified every time I post a new video, because I post frequently but not consistently at all with my life as a mom, as a wife, as a nurse, and as a content creator. We just fit it in wherever things fit. I'm so grateful to have you here. Let me know if you have read this book and if you have purchased any of Yarnaceous Fiber's book boxes or any other book boxes that you would love to recommend my way, because I would love to open and experience some other book boxes as well. Until next time, happy making and happy reading. Bye!